The harder you try to control life, the more exhausted you feel. You plan carefully. You think ahead. You try to predict every outcome, avoid every mistake, and protect yourself from every possible disappointment. Yet somehow, peace feels further away than ever. This struggle is not new. Long before modern life became fast and overwhelming, human beings were already wrestling with the same inner tension, the desire to control what cannot be controlled. This is a story about that struggle, and about what happens when we finally learn to let go, not in weakness, but in wisdom. Many years ago, in a quiet village near a flowing river, lived a man named Anaya. Anaya was intelligent, disciplined, and deeply responsible. From a young age, he believed that if he worked hard enough and planned carefully enough, life would always turn out the way he wanted. And for a while, it seemed true. He studied diligently. He fulfilled his duties. He earned respect from those around him. But as years passed, something inside him began to tighten. Every decision carried fear. Every action carried expectation. Every effort carried anxiety about results. Even while working, his mind was never at rest. Part of him was always calculating. What if this fails? What if I lose what I have built? What if things don't go according to plan? Anaya was doing everything right, yet peace slipped through his fingers like sand. One evening, overwhelmed and restless, he walked along the riverbank where the sound of flowing water usually brought him comfort. That night, however, even the river could not quiet his mind. As he sat there, an elderly traveler approached. The man moved slowly, with calm eyes and an unhurried presence. He introduced himself as Ishvara, a wanderer who spent his life studying ancient wisdom and observing the nature of the mind. "You seem burdened," Ishvara said gently. Anaya sighed. "I feel like I'm carrying the weight of my entire life on my shoulders," he admitted. "No matter how much effort I put in, I am never at peace." Ishvara listened quietly, then asked, "Tell me, what are you trying so hard to control?" Anaya paused. The question unsettled him. "My future," he replied. "My success. My failures. I want to make sure everything turns out right." Ishvara smiled softly. "And has it worked?" Anaya looked away. The old man sat beside him and spoke slowly. "There is an ancient teaching that says your suffering does not come from action itself, but from attachment to outcomes." Anaya frowned. "But without caring about results, how can anyone live responsibly?" Ishvara nodded. "This is where many misunderstand wisdom," he said. "Letting go of attachment does not mean letting go of effort." He explained that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches a simple but profound truth. Human beings have control over their actions, but not over the results of those actions. The moment we confuse the two, suffering begins. "When you believe you control outcomes," Ishvara said, "you begin to fear them, and fear steals your presence." Anaya listened intently. "Think of your breath," Ishvara continued. "You can breathe consciously for a while, but if you try to control every breath forever, you will suffocate. Life works the same way." The river flowed beside them, steady and effortless. "You were never meant to control the river," Ishvara said. "You were meant to flow with it." That night, Anaya returned home unsettled, but thoughtful. In the days that followed, he noticed something uncomfortable. He realized how tightly his mind clung to outcomes, how every task was weighed down by expectation, how his identity depended on success. He remembered a line Ishvara had shared. "Your right is to act, not to the fruits of action." For the first time, Anaya questioned his long-held belief that effort guaranteed results. He began practicing something new. When he worked, he focused only on the work itself, not on praise, not on fear of failure, not on future rewards. At first, it felt unnatural. His mind constantly wandered toward outcomes, but each time it did, he gently brought it back to the present task. Something surprising happened. The work became lighter. His concentration deepened, his anxiety softened. He realized that attachment was not motivating him, it was exhausting him. Slowly, Anaya began to understand surrender. Not surrender as defeat, but surrender as trust. Trust that life is guided by an intelligence far greater than the individual mind. The same intelligence that moves the stars, grows trees, and shapes rivers, also moves human lives. Some call it nature, some call it the universe, some call it God. The name did not matter, the principle did. Anaya began to see that his body, mind, and intelligence were not separate from this greater system. They were part of it. And if that was true, then perhaps he did not need to carry everything alone. One afternoon, Anaya met Ishvara again by the river. "I think I'm beginning to understand," Anaya said. "When I stop trying to control everything, I feel more alive." Ishvara nodded. "Because when attachment falls away, presence remains." He explained that ego creates the illusion of total control. It whispers, "I am the doer. I must manage everything." But wisdom gently corrects this illusion. "You act," Ishvara said, "but the universe responds." This realization did not make Anaya passive. It made him precise, focused, fully engaged. Without the burden of attachment, his actions became cleaner. Without fear of results, his mind became sharp. He learned that surrender does not weaken action, it purifies it. As months passed, Anaya noticed a deeper change. He slept better, he reacted less, he listened more. Even when outcomes did not match his expectations, he no longer collapsed inside. He adapted. Life did not become perfect, but it became peaceful. And peace, he discovered, was far more powerful than control. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Anaya sat by the river once more. The water flowed as it always had, unconcerned with obstacles, yet unstoppable. He smiled. He finally understood that letting go was not about losing control. It was about releasing the illusion that control was ever possible. This wisdom is not limited to Anaya's story. It belongs to anyone who is tired of carrying invisible weight, anyone who feels trapped by expectations, anyone who is ready to work fully, yet live freely. If you act with dedication but without attachment, clarity follows. If you surrender outcomes but honor effort, peace follows. Thank you for listening. Thank you. If this story brought you a sense of calm or reflection, please like the video, share it with someone who may need this message, and subscribe for more stories rooted in timeless wisdom. Wishing you clarity in action, peace in effort, and the freedom that comes from letting go.